All right, hi, this is Henk. Welcome to another edition of the Skull Sessions. And today my guest is Justin McDavitt. Is that correct?
Yes, Justin McDavitt. Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome. All right, man. So let's talk about what you got going on.
First of all, thank you so much for bringing me on your show and for exposing me to your community. What we have going on is we just completed a short Western film that we called, or that the title is Scar.
Okay. Is it kind of like a horror Western?
We would like to delve into that realm where we're kind of like mixing genres, but this is our first film that we've created, so we started out just specifically in the Western genre.
So would it be more like say like Tombstone, or more like I don't know if you saw Bone Tomahawk, but that's like a horror Western.
Right. No, yeah. I'm familiar with Bone Tomahawk. I would say it's probably more along the lines of Tombstone, where it's that basic feel for people that lived in the era and kind of the stuff that they struggled with during that time period.
Right. Okay. Did you need to do some research into it? Like I did a Western horror story recently, and I hate it when people call people out, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I was like, so I did a Western, and I ran it by a couple of beta readers who are familiar with like Western and horror. So I was like, like there's a lot of stuff you don't know, like what they call like beers, and what they call, like, if you're a liar, you're called a flannel mouth.
Right.
So I tried to use like local colloquialisms and stuff like that to like kind of bring it to life.
Right. No, yeah, I absolutely understand. So my co-producer Brandon Larson actually wrote the story, created the world, and then me and him went back and forth on iterations of the script. And we're really lucky that we live in California, so our area is immersed in kind of the gold rush era type of mentality, which is where the story takes place.
Okay.
So we were actually able to shoot on locations that existed during that time period. So we have like a real hotel that's actually still fitted out to the same aesthetics, the same looks of the time period. And the town itself looks like it really hasn't changed that much from that time period, other than like the modern things like telephone poles, telephone wires, and internet, things like that. But the aesthetics of the town itself still looks very reminiscent of the time period.
Were you able to just pan the camera so it didn't catch?
Right. There are some creative shots where some of the modern aspects are eliminated so that doesn't ruin the immersion of the story. And then something else that I can speak to, like the authenticity that you were talking about, is the writer himself actually went out and did some gold panning prior to the filming, just to lock in and get a better feel for the characters.
Okay. I noticed like when I was doing the research, a lot of what people like screw up in Hollywood when they do like a Western is the people are like very clean. like everything is pressed, it's clean. It's like apparently it wasn't as much like that.
No, not at all. I think for example, the characters, the two main characters played by me and the co-producer, Tully and Holt, were actually very dirty types of characters. I mean, living on the road or the trail for months at a time, just trying to strike it rich.
Okay. And so what's the general theme of the movie?
I would say the general theme is that we don't try to direct anybody in a certain path, but it's just we want to expose people to the thought process that unlike old Westerns where, they try to highlight somebody as being the hero and, like the White Knight and the other person is a villain and the black dark enemy, that everybody is a shade of gray. And that,
I feel that's a more realistic take, because like very rarely do you find like that single White Knight and then everybody else, like there's like, even the villains often, they have very complex backgrounds. So maybe they're not really villains. Maybe they're just like they're doing bad things because they're in a bad spot. It's like I'm not making excuses for it. I'm just saying that's often the reality.
Right, exactly, and that's all that we try to highlight. That it's easy to sit back and say what you would do. It's a completely different thing to come up to the actual situation and make the choices that you make.
Yeah, I remember somebody pointing out how they had a lot of racism back in the day. They had like sunset towns and all sorts of stuff, and like all these people were like, yeah, I would approach this, I would have fought against this. Like, no, you wouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's very few people that I think buck the system traditionally. I mean, obviously we do have those people, and we're thankful for them because I mean that's how we get change and that's how we evolve and grow.
Oh
But
yeah,
I think
definitely. It's a good thing. I'm just saying, like all the people that are like, I would have marched with Martin Luther King. I would have
right,
done this. I would have done that. It's like, no, you wouldn't have.
right.
You just want like social points.
Right. Yeah. I think by and large, most of the people just, as we see, they go with the flow of the majority of society until it affects themselves, and then hopefully they speak. Well, you would hope that they speak earlier, but yeah, at least at that point they speak up.
Right. So, is your story? Is it like kind of a drama? Is it more of an action? Is it more of a thriller?
So
Like a crime? What's going on?
So I definitely would say that there's crime elements in it. There are action points in the story, and I would say by and large it probably fits more into the idea of a drama. So there's some dramatic elements. We get introduced to the characters, we see the choices that they make, and then we get left following the path that they followed to see what happens.
Okay. And I know a lot of people shit on it, but I don't hate found footage movies, but it's like they got to be done right.
Hmm.
So was it more along those lines? Was it more along traditional lines? How did you approach it?
Oh, I would say it's a very very traditional production setup with a standard industry camera, sound, gaffers, lighting, all that stuff. It was all scripted ahead of time, set up, rehearsed. The scenes were
Oh, I see somebody else is joining us now.
yes, yes. So this would be Brandon Larson, the co-producer and the writer that created the story.
Hi, Brandon. What's
Hey
up?
there. How's it going, Dan?
Good so far. I mean, we might all be in Matrix, so it's hard to say, but it seems like everything's going good.
Yep. And just to finish the answer, all the sets were, like I said, they took place in a town, but we had them, established for the way that we were shooting, and yeah, so I would say very traditional.
Okay. And how long does it run for?
Currently, right now, I believe the edit is at 15 minutes, maybe a little bit over 15 minutes.
Okay, so it's kind of a chart.
Yes.
Like I'm not real familiar with the film industry. I'm more like familiar with like books, whether they're like novellas or short stories or whatever. But like, so is there like a separate market for shorts?
Brandon, would you like to answer to that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with indie filmmakers is a lot of us are looking to create, right? That's our number one goal. And so it takes a team to do that. Both of us invested our own money into this project, right? So the real goal is to create high quality films for people to see. And a short film is a great way to start to do that because a feature
Any
film is
people
going to cost
interested in the project?
so much more.
But
What's that?
it's like that hopefully gets people interested in this project and what you got going on.
Exactly.
And
It's
would
like
it
a
eventually
proof of
lead to
concept
like a
in a way.
larger, longer production later on?
Oh yeah,
We
absolutely.
sure hope so. That's the goal.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we absolutely have plans to carry out the characters in the world for as long as we can, as long as people are interested and we have quality stories to tell.
Okay, so is it more a thing where like you have a number of stories as opposed to like one specific story that you just want to elongate eventually into a longer cinema production, but it's like, it's over after that's over, or something where it's like kind of an ongoing thing?
Well, I think a series would be great if we could continue it somehow. But I think for right now, we want to gauge the audience. Like no one's seen it yet, so you have to put it out there and see if people like it, right?
Right.
And I think people will ultimately enjoy this. We're trying to bring westerns back. That's a big thing.
Okay. Are there like do you go to like industry like sites, like, I mean, obviously there's like, fairly big sites like the Sundance Film Festival and stuff like that, but are there like kind of like indie movie like awards and presentations and events?
Yeah, I think each festival themselves host awards and premieres and presentations, and then I think there are through other entities that do awards other than like the Oscars and the Emmys and things like that.
Okay, do they have a specific category, like this is for short films, it's for longer films, stuff like that?
Yeah, it's really depends on the festivals themselves on what they put into their award categories. I've seen multiple short film award categories, but then they also do stuff based on the genres, like best comedy, best horror, best animated film, things like
So
that.
they have categories for the theme of the movies, and they also have the length of the movie. So all the short films would be like, these are categories for short films.
Right. Yes. Yep.
So do they is the ultimate goal like to win an award or to get more people interested? It's like that more of like for instance, as an author, I'll go to like book conventions, and some like the SoCon are more like you talk to the publishers, you do readings, stuff like that. And some are more like Monster Mania is more like, just like they sell plushies, they sell like DVDs. It's like more just like get it out to the audience.
Right. So I would say that Brandon and I would both be happy. I think everybody on the team would be happy with an award, but our goal is to get the story out to as many people as possible, and just to be able to kind of build that community where our stories can get out and resonate with people, and like I said initially, just get them thinking about the topics that we're presenting.
Okay, where would people be able to see this? You have like something that it's on, like is there a specific, like, I mean, obviously there are channels that play like mostly horror films and mostly whatever, but then you also have ones that just play pretty much everything.
So I think right now, because we're still in post-production, we're at the tail end of post-production where we're scoring the film. Once that happens, then we'll release it out to film festivals, and then after it does its film festival run, then the hope is to either get it on a streaming platform, but at the minimum, we'll have it uploaded to like YouTube and Instagram, things like that, where people can access it.
Okay, and if it's I think you said 15 minutes?
Yes, 15
So,
minutes.
how much of the story do you tell in the 15 minutes?
Wow. I would say it's probably somewhere around 14 minutes is probably all story. I let Brandon add to that if
But
I'm incorrect.
I think
it's like a build up to like for instance, like everybody enters a bar and then there's like, I don't know, a fight or something. I mean, is there like one thing that's like
it's pretty jam packed. So in a short film, you got to have a lot of action, right? So you've got to tell a story in a short amount of time, and how do you do that?
Some really bad ones.
Well, we're looking to do a great one, so so that's the thing with good writing, is you can have a lot of stuff in a short amount of time and get people really engaged, and I think our film does a great job of that.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely can. It's not necessarily a matter of like how long or how diverse, the cinematic or whatever. It's like how good the story is.
Right, right, absolutely.
Exactly. And we
I
really set our.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we really set ourselves up for success when you're speaking about the gold rush era, the element of gold, right? Like this is the gold nugget that we used, the actual prop in the film, if you can see that. And
That's
so
that's
right
gotta be
there,
like painted styrofoam or something. That would be super heavy if that was solid gold.
it's not styrofoam.
Okay.
It's
But
yeah,
it can't be solid
it is a
gold.
rock.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's we set ourselves up in that script, right? Because every character wants something, and so if you're thinking in terms of the writing aspect, and you're going from who's each character, what are their histories, what are they after? I thought that the gold rush here being in California would interest a lot of people, and so having a period western in this time period, late 1840s, early 1850s, you really hone in, and people will believe it because it actually happened.
Okay. In since it's 15 minutes, how complex does the plot get? Is it like a whole bunch of twists and turns? Is it, no spoilers, I don't want to give it away, but
Right. Well, I think when I write, there's always that idea that you want to twist somewhere, and
Right.
wherever we do that is where we do that. And so, in my writing, I feel that I do a great job of that, and I spent over 50 hours on this script. So I brought the first draft to Justin, and he looked at it, and from there we worked, we taught, had a lot of conversations of how could we improve this. So 4 drafts later, right, we got it up to the level that it needed to be.
Okay. And how many people do you have involved as on the acting side?
So there are actually 3 actors in this because we tried to keep the story as simple as possible as far as actors go, and then all 3 actors actually work on the backside of the production as well because, like I said earlier, Brandon was an actor, but he's also a producer and did a lot of the moving and grooving in the background with the finding locations, pulling together the crew and stuff like that. Then myself worked as a producer, casting director, and an actor, and then our director, Dania Denise, was played the role of Kate in the film as well.
Okay, and is it going to be a full color movie? Is it black and white? Like, how are you presenting it?
Yes, it's actual
full color.
Yep, full color.
Yeah.
Okay. And how would people be able to see it if they want to check it out?
I would say the best way is to currently is to follow us on Instagram at scar_film_2025.
Okay.
And that'll keep tabs, and then when we release where it's distributing and where it's playing, it's the quickest way to find it.
Do you have a website?
Just the Instagram.
Okay.
And then actually on Instagram too, we do have a link out to GoFundMe for to bring in any funds if anybody so inclined, so to help assist in paying for the film festivals and the rest of the post-production work that we have left to do.
So hopefully,
and we do have
something bigger. Sorry,
I'm sorry, I missed it.
I was just asking you if the hope is like people love it, that you waste enough funds and they can do something bigger with that.
Yeah, so initially the hope is by bringing in funds that we can submit to more film festivals, because every film festival it has its own entry fee just to say, hey, look at our film.
Oh, I didn't know they have an entry fee for the film
yes,
festivals?
absolutely. And that's not even to play it. That's just for them to look and say whether yes or no they will.
So you pay even if they say it's garbage, we don't take it.
Yes. Or I mean, it doesn't even have to be garbage. It's just like maybe it doesn't meet the technical specifications, or maybe the runtime's a little too long.
But I'm just making the most
low.
extreme example, you know.
Right. But yeah, you pay for every submission. So that's what our hopes is with the GoFundMe, is that the money that anybody that does donate, it just helps us submit to more film festivals. And then by being in more film festivals, we hope to get more attention and then be able to create more stories and bigger stories, and hopefully revisit Tully and Holt in the future.
Okay. Do you have like a list of movies behind you, like other stuff that is leading up to this?
So Brennan and myself have both been working on scripts and stories for probably roughly the past, I don't know, I'd say around 10 years. We've known each other, and we've both been doing movies, films, as actors in the industry. But this, like I mentioned earlier, this is the first film that we've actually self-produced as a team.
Okay. So, are you used to doing like longer productions or short productions like this one?
I would say for right now, short film, as I mentioned, because it's we shot this in 2 days, right? So if you take on a bigger project like a feature film, which is our goal down the road, but for right now, I would say our focus would be short films for right now.
Okay. But I was also asking, like, your experience in the past, has it been like little roles in bigger productions, or like what was it? Was it smaller productions, like the entire production? What was it?
So I think we both run the gambit, and also our director has experience in it, working on productions as a director and as an actress. Myself, I've been on television, I've been in short films, I've been on feature films. I've had to lead in short films, and then supporting roles in feature films.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just wondering the history behind it.
Right.
So
yeah, we've all really experienced a lot of variety, even theater. That's kind of where I got my start, was in the theater, and then from there I decided that I'd like to solely focus on film.
okay, and when did you make the decision to focus just on films? And I take you kind of made the decision to like do your own thing. Like I've done other people's thing. I'd really like to do my own thing.
Right. Yeah. I think at a certain point, something happens to you in life. And for me, I did this like intensive acting film workshop in Fresno. And that really engaged me to want to pursue more of the film acting for me. How about you, Justin?
I kind of see pros and cons with both sides. I did come initially from a theatrical background as well as stage. And I like both formats, but about, I'd say 5 years ago, I switched pretty much fully into film and television, just because it gives me the opportunity to play in a lot more worlds and play as a lot more characters. And so, you have more of a diverse area to play in, and it's just more fast paced, because for example, for a theatrical production, you're probably like rehearsing for about 3 months, and then you're doing 2 to 4 weekends of productions, or 2 to 4 weeks of productions, whereas a film, like this one, we shot 2 days. I believe initially the concept was introduced to me back in February. So of course we did have all that pre-production, but it wasn't the same thing as rehearsing every single day to, do 4 play productions that only a limited amount of people see. I think that's also the other element, is that when you're working on stage, you can have great runs, but you can't ever go back to it, right? You can't show more people what you've done, because it's alive at the moment and then it's gone. Whereas a film, you can always bring more people into it. You can always, share the link or share the channel or the streaming platform that it's on.
And I've noticed like a lot of people that come like from a theater background have more I forget what you call it, but it's like that Daniel Day Lewis, like kind of like a character actor, but say you're very involved,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have some people that like and I'm a big fan of Christopher Walken, but like Christopher Walken will even tell you he has one character, and like he does himself in every movie.
Right.
I mean, it's great. I've even seen horrible movies where he's great in them, but it's like he's that one person. So, how do you approach it, and how do you look at that?
Yeah, I could speak to that. For me, I think the theater does give you that leg up because you're constantly training. That's the goal of an actor, is to always be training. It's like an athlete, right? But for me, while you do have to draw from yourself in some roles, I like to actually look at acting outside in. So I like to actually change my physical appearance. Like, I'm not going to look anywhere like in this film. I don't look like that right now.
Right.
So I look complete. I think, for me, it's like, how does the guy talk? How does he walk? Just those basic things that I need to figure out before I personally play the character. And then I like to do a backstory once I can figure out the physical traits of that character. And then I just keep building from there, keep reading the script, keep studying, and ideas will come from that. How about you, Justin?
So I would say my own process is that I find, obviously I go through the script first and look at the character, the role, and then I find the connection points for the similarities with myself, the things that I can add or multiply on the character and bring authenticity to it. And I believe every character I approach, I start with the voice. Like, that's, to me, that's the core of every person, is how we speak, how we communicate. So that's where I begin, and that's where I lock in and build out from there.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
more like along the lines of like Gary Oldman, or like
Yeah.
Robert De Niro or whatever. Like people that get any character and they try to like match that character. Like I know Robert De Niro, he goes over the top sometimes with this stuff. But he like for a taxi driver, he was a
Yeah.
taxi driver for 3 months in New York City just to like try and nail down that character.
I love that stuff. That's exactly my approach too, because for this particular film, I wanted to learn how to gold pan. So, because that's what we are, we're prospectors in this, and so we're in search of gold. So I better know how to gold pan, right? I better know how to do some things that will only make the film. It'll only better serve the film if Justin, myself, Dania, or another actor playing a role. It's only going to better serve the story if we come fully prepared.
No, that's great to hear. Cause like it seems like way too many people are like, "I'll just be myself, and you give me something, I'll do it." And like, I wish they like delved into a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's not how I approach acting, and I can't speak for Justin. But what would you say, Justin? Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I would fully agree. I think there's, like I said, I think there's connection points that you can find with every role or character, but they're not like, well, at least for myself, I don't be myself in a role. I find the connection points, my similarities, and then, like I said, add to the authenticity in whatever way I can.
No, I think it definitely does, and it definitely helps people like break out of the mold. Like Daniel Day Lewis is like the part of the reason why people recognize him so much is because he's that character. He embodies that character.
Exactly. Oh yeah, he's one of the greatest, and that's somebody that's like the top, right? Like if
Yeah.
you can get to that level, I just don't know in terms of living it 24/7. I don't know that I could personally do that. What he
Well,
does,
I
like
know
to
people say
that
it's kind of hard
extreme.
with that whole gangs in New York when there's Bill the Butcher. You see any character for the entire time. So, like, he'd be talking to, like, Liam Neeson and be like, hello, preacher. You know? But, all right, man. So, the best way to see you, you're saying it's on Instagram?
Yes. Currently on Instagram, scar underscore film underscore 2025. Best way to reach us.
Okay,
We hope.
is the film done, or you just waiting to, like, showcase it?
So yeah, so we are, like I said earlier, we're in the back end of post production. So we just have a little bit of music scoring to go on it, some ADR, and then we're done. But I mean, if you're looking for a percentage, it's probably like 97%. But
Okay.
we wrapped filming back in April, in the middle of April. So it's been in post production since. So it's it's there. We're ready to go.
Okay, so do you know when it's going to debut? Is it like kind of a matter of like what festival you go to?
Yeah. It's all about whichever film festival picks it up first and has their premiere date the earliest.
Okay, and what's the name of the film again?
Scar, SCAR.
Okay, but it's not a horror western. It's a western. Like maybe it has some horror aspects, but it's not like Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, it's a western. I would say there's elements of a little bit of everything. I mean, there's some of the actions are horrific, but yeah. But also, like I said earlier, me and Brandon are definitely looking at in the future being able to mix genres together, and specifically, we have looked at mixing western and horror together because we do see a lot of advantages and a lot of great stories that could be told.
Okay. All right. One more thing, and then I'll let you guys go. But when I often ask people, I ask them to compare it to something, not to say it's a ripoff, but say if you like this, you'll like myself. So,
I think that's
is there kind of like a prize western or a take or something like it could even be like a sci-fi movie, but it's like it kind of has the same theme.
right. Yeah, I'll definitely let Brandon have the last word on this.
Oh boy. Honestly, I think it's one of those standalone type films. I don't know that you could really compare it to any that come to mind. I know Justin had mentioned one that sort of reminded him of it, but in terms of westerns, my favorite western I'll speak to is The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. So that's my favorite all-time western. So I had that playing in the background, and so that definitely that kind of level of film is what we were striving to make.
All right. Well, I mean that movie is obviously a classic. That's considered like one of the. Not only is it considered one of Clint Eastwood's best movies, but it's also considered like a more true to the old west than like say John Wayne.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, this is not a spaghetti western by any means. We really wanted to keep it in the reality.
Okay. All right. So, do you guys have anything else you want to throw out to the social sphere? Like, you should check this out. You should see this event, whatever.
I would just like to say again, thank you for bringing us on your show, and thank you for exposing us to your community. And just if I guess our biggest hope is that people will come out to see the film when we're able to release details on it, and if they feel so inclined to either donate or share our information so that others get to hear about
Do
it.
you have a Patreon or Kickstarter?
Right. Right now, we just have the GoFundMe, which is linked to the Instagram account for the film.
Okay. And what's a specific name of GoFundMe?
If you give me 1 second, I will look it up.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us, Dan. This was a lot of fun. So I appreciate you
Yeah, no problem.
having us both on, and
Yeah. So
means a lot.
so it's
Yeah,
listed.
I think a lot of people think oh, indie is not going to be as polished as but the best things come out of indie like The Crow came from he was in the military, he did illustrations for the army, and then he did his own comic, and then they bought the rights and he did a movie. So, but some of the best ideas, you have to give yourself a chance.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so back to your question, it's listed under Support Scar, a Gold Rush era short film.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, thanks guys for being on here. I appreciate it.